If you had to done it again, would you have done it the same exact way after you were the
If I would
recording
have
with
done
John?
it a second time around, what I should have done, I should have killed him in prison
That's what you should have done.
and did life without parole.
"Don't mess with the Albanians" is a common phrase in New York City.
This motherfucker wouldn't sit at the same table with me, and if he did, I'd be picking his fucking bones out of my teeth.
People have been sharing their experience during run-ins with the Albanian Mafia. One said, "I had real people trying to kill me, and I'm talking about Albanian gangsters with murder charges."
Points in my life where I had real people trying to kill me. I'm talking about Albanian gangsters with murder charges.
So how does a day in the life of an Albanian Mafia member looks like? According to several studies, Albanian criminal groups are polycriminal fluid networks, adaptable, and constantly seeking new opportunities and markets. The Albanian Mafia is the general term used for criminal organizations based in Albania or composed of ethnic Albanians. The Albanian Mafia is said to participate in a diverse range of criminal enterprises, including trafficking in drugs, arms, and humans. Frequently, family members are at the center of these groups, and they can recruit new members among friends and residents of their hometown, providing them with a loyal base that facilitates their operations. However, when they act in a different environment, this structure changes significantly. Albanian OCGs are highly collaborative and trust each other. However, in most cases, the group's core is always composed of members from the same country. As a result, these groups have changed a lot in the last 3 decades in terms of modus operandi, illicit commodities, and their deal with and the market they operate. They begin their criminal activities with the trafficking of cannabis in the early 1990s, the entry of heroin into the region from Turkey, and subsequent trafficking in Central and Western Europe. Throughout the 1990s and into the early 2000s, these groups were also involved in human trafficking and arms smuggling. However, as time passed, these two elements began to fade away, and Albanian criminal groups started to focus exclusively on drug trafficking. Also, because this is considered one of the most lucrative markets in the illicit world. These groups began exploring the cocaine markets in the early 2000s after being empowered by the trafficking of cannabis and heroin. Their entry into this market increased their flexibility and gave them access to various countries across Europe and beyond. They were able to bring cocaine within a short period, not only into the port of Durrës and other ports in the region, such as the port of Bar in Montenegro and Greek ports, but also into some of Europe's largest ports, including those in the Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, and Germany. Consequently, their political and financial power and influence increased, as well as their complexity. Today, these organizations are perceived as some of the most powerful in drug trafficking in Europe. The Albanian Mafia has evolved over the last 80 years and does not just consist of ethnic Albanian. From what can be considered common knowledge about the Albanian Mafia, the entire group is made up of various families from different ethnicities like Albanian, Serbian, Macedonian, and Greek. The clans have spread across parts of the world, including Australia, Europe, the UK, and the US. It is said that they are almost impossible to infiltrate. According to the FBI, even the ones in New York City are too widespread to penetrate, as they are too secretive and operate with surprising criminal savvy. The Albanian Mafia, such as the Sicilian Mafia, crime families rely deeply on honor, trust, and loyalty. They establish their own internal laws, which make all other official laws secondary or not considered at all. Like the Italian Mafia's law of omerta, or silence, members of Albania criminal gangs live and die by a ruthless code of conduct. Their oath, besa, meaning trust, is the promise to defend with their lives the honor of the ruling family. Joey Laika was dubbed as the kingpin of a highly feared New York City-based dope mob that moved over $100 million worth of pure Turkish dope. Laika was described as being a frightening member of international crime and contract killer, a book by Hoffman and Headley. It was said that Laika had his mobsters trained and ready to make assassinations against Paul Castellano, an American crime boss who succeeded Carlo Gambio as head of the Gambio crime family, and John Gotti, an American gangster and boss of the Gambino crime family in New York City. Some even said that his mob was ready to take out then President Reagan if he wanted them to. Laika was known for his dislike of Italians, and they in turn were afraid of him because of his violent nature. Laika continued trafficking heroin into the United States, and they couldn't do much to stop him until 1985, when he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. At the time of his sentencing, Laika had successfully transported over $125 million worth of drugs, which he had distributed in New York, California, Texas, and Illinois. As can be expected from a family that prides itself on being loyal, Laika was joined by his Albanian relatives during the trial. Rudy Giuliani, an American politician and lawyer who was overseeing the trial, reported having received death threats. Alex Rudaj of Yorktown, New York, is another big name in the Albanian Mafia. The Rudaj organization is the Albanian Mafia in the New York City metro area, named for the man accused of being its kingpin, Alex Rudaj. Rudaj began his career in crime as an associate of the Gambino family. Notably, he is not the first or only Albanian who's done this, considering that plenty of Albanians have adopted to other crime families in the past. In the 1990s, Rudaj began collaborating with others to form a group including Albanians and other Casa Nostra's members. The group started with illegal gambling in Morris Park in Westchester County. Upon experiencing success, Rudaj wanted more. In 2001, Rudaj and at least 6 other men entered a Greek social club called Soccer Fever with guns. The club was actually a gambling racket run by 2 Greek associates of the Lucis crime family. In 2005, Arnold Squiatieri, an American former acting boss and underboss of the Gambino crime family, decided it was too much and had a sit-down meeting, so to speak, with the Rudaj organization. It was held at a gas station in New Jersey, where Squiatari arrived with 20 armed Gambino men, while Rudaj arrived with 6. "You took what you took, and that's it, and there's going to be a problem," was reportedly what Scuderia told Rudaj, according to an undercover FBI agent, Joaquin Garcia, who is best known for his undercover work infiltrating the Gambino crime family in New York City. Everybody present at the sit-down landed in prison a year later. Another notable Albanian Mafia member is Prank Drobrishi, a Kosovo Albanian crime boss. He was one of the most powerful heroin and arms smugglers in Europe in the 1990s. Dobroshi was captured in Norway in 1993 and began his 14-year sentence in 1994 at the Ullersmo prison for trafficking heroin in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. However, a couple of years later, definitely not even close to his 14-year sentence, Dobrosi and his associates pulled off a well-coordinated operation in 1997 where he managed to escape. He decided to live in the Czech Republic, and instead of living a quiet life as what should be expected of someone who escaped prison, Dobrosi dominated the Albanian drug mafia there. Soon after, but not soon enough, he was arrested yet again in Prague and sent to a Czech prison in 1999. During his stay at the prison, news of plans for his assassination reached his ears. Before that could happen, Dobrosi successfully extradited himself to Norway to complete the rest of his sentence. Yet another significant member of the Albanian Mafia is Nazar Kelmendi, an ethnic Albanian alleged to be running one of the most powerful crime facilities in the Balkans, a region that stretches from the Serbian-Bulgarian border to the Black Sea and is known for its ancient smuggling routes. According to the Bosnian authorities, Kelmendi was the head of a huge criminal empire and was known as possibly the biggest drug lord in the Balkans. Kelmendi is said to have had a violent streak since his teenage years. At the young age of 19, Kelmendi was sentenced to 18 months in prison for attempted murder in his hometown of Peć, Serbia. It was in 1976. By the 1980s, he was free and was smuggling gold and textiles into Kosovo from Turkey. Subscribe, or you will get caught by the mafia.